Yeah, what's up everyone? How you doing? How you doing? It's a new week, new opportunities on the chart. Let's see where we end this week, shall we? Good to have you all here. Welcome from sunny south of France. Everyone joining from wherever you live in the world. Let me know. Let chat know. Where do you live in the world? What country are you from? So I'm originally Dutch, but I live in the south of France. I moved at the beginning of August, and I live here now for 1.5 years. Senat Bosnia. I know that Tim is from the Netherlands. Jeroen is Dutch. So I know John is from Australia, Lucian from France, Ravi, India, Desek, Berlin. Been there once. Very, very nice. I enjoyed it. So much history in Berlin. Ali from Dubai. I'll be there next year. USA, garlic powder. Very, very nice. I've only been to the West Coast once. Rainy Czech. I see. Shem, welcome from the rainy Czech. Czech Republic. I'm from my parents' place. I'm from my parents' place. Yeah, well, I guess you mean the city, not Tim. I know Tim personally. He's a real life friend. So, yo, what's up, David G? How you doing, man? Welcome. Good to see you here. And you had a nice introduction up there. Repeating my words. I'll say hi. I'll scroll up in a second. But empty island. Now, I've never been to Ireland yet, but I am interested. It's rainy, but it's beautiful. Based on what I've heard. So I'm very interested in figuring it out myself. TP, London, England, or is it UK? It's the same as the Netherlands. Is it Holland or is it the Netherlands? Rosie, how you doing? Sakinsoy, Cambridge. Very nice, very nice. Great area. From France, living in Ireland. Okay, wow, what's the reason to move to Ireland from France? I'm interested. Eurex, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Dilshan. Welcome, good afternoon, East Midlands, UK. Alan, welcome. Welcome. Los Angeles, okay, there we go. US is waking up, no? US is waking up. There should be more people from the US joining as the stream goes along. As I always know, like around the time I start my live stream, the US, it's early morning, so they woke or they wake up. But nice to have you here from LA. Been there in 2022. When was I there? I think we arrived in LA at the end of September, and then start of October we continued to Vegas. It was a great time. Good question. Why is it Holland and the Netherlands? The Netherlands is like the lowlands. Holland is because of the king that we had in the past, I believe. But don't pin me on history stuff. It's not really my cup of tea, let's say. Now, guess where Kiwi is from, everyone? I don't think many people need to think about that. Kiwi, what's up from New Zealand? Good evening or good night maybe for you already. Yasfir, Portugal, Hungary, Balas. Yo, Balas, by the way, nice to have you here. Portugal, we're almost neighbors. No, it's not that rainy. Come visit. We hit a pint, not a pint, lol. I'm originally from Poland. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, whenever I go to a country, I'll make sure to let everyone know, first of all, because it's important to manage expectations. Like, I'm gone, right? Content is not gonna be appearing every day. Second, it's nice to meet up with people. So, that's great. Like when I came to France, I met with two viewers, Pierre, right? And Don Carl. And very soon, Leva, she's here quite often. She is going on holiday to Nice, and it's great to meet viewers. So we'll probably meet up this Saturday, I guess. Actually, I gotta find a spot in my agenda though. But it's nice to meet people, right? I like to have a face with the name as well, if you know what I mean. Dayan, welcome. Paris, on est là. Alexandra, bonjour. bonjour. Paris, ma mère est from Paris, lol. English, I speak very good franglais, as my brother would say it. Like, my brother is a hero in franglais. Yaniv from Israel. Zarafa Vanuatu. I have no idea where that is. No, I never heard of it, but welcome. Holland is the country, I think. I see. Quebec. Canada. Eric Dorian Laflamme, one of the viewers with the most beautiful surname. Dejan, Slovenia. Welcome. Good to have you here, man. Tupro from South Holland and North Holland. I see. Joe Volker, what's up, man? How you doing? Baroni, Turkey, Toronto, Malaysia. I mean, look at this. Like, you know what I find fascinating? Here I am, standing in my office in the south of France and previously the Netherlands. And I'm, of course, talking to a webcam and I'm talking to my mic here, right? And I try to at least help as many people as I can. That's the goal. Doing some Elliott wave analysis and chatting, answering questions, and you know how it goes, right? And it's not actually easy to realize that you as a viewer, you're somewhere in the world watching this guy together with, how many are we now? 100 other people also from somewhere in the world, right? Like global community. Like if you look at Discord and you see people popping in Discord, generally when people join the Discord, they write in here in where is it? Where are you from? They write where they're from. Like it's crazy. Like, hey, if you want to go to the US, you just like write something in general chat, or you say something here in the chat. You say, yo guys, I want to go to the US. Where do I go? People just answer you. It's amazing. It's amazing. Amstelveen. Yeah, I lived close to Amstelveen. Yeah, I used to live in Amsterdam. So India. What's up, Tarun, Karen K, BB, Kurdistan. I guess that's going to be like east of Europe, no? I mean, where they have all the stuns, I suppose. Philippines. Many people from the Philippines, actually. If you ever come to Bosnia, specifically Sarajevo. Oh, thank you, Sanat. That's very kind of you, man. Bosnia. I'm going to write that one down, though. Bosnia. 1 second. Bosnia. Montenegro, north of Montenegro. Okay, interesting. Why not do a Zoom? You mean like private, like Zoom, I suppose? Looks very good. Yeah, it's incredible. Flotti, what's up, man? So, Flotti from Austria, living in the mountains. Lorette Blue, welcome, Maurits. Fiji, Kurdistan is north of Iraq. Okay, I see why. I know Iraq. I get it. What's up, Birabit? How you doing, man? Spainistan. Alfonso. Brazil. Okay, what's up, everyone? It's great to have you here from all over the world. Cheers, everyone here as well. Oh, here's Leva as well. NTT. What's up, Andrew, Madhusanka, David? You know, guys, welcome, everyone. Seriga. Good to have you here. Crypto Wave Rider, John, Lucian, Garlic Powder, and everyone commenting after. Great to have you here, guys. So what we're going to do in today's live stream is show you an update of page 1 of the PDF that we're working on. So we're working on an Elliott Wave PDF with a lot of detail and stuff. So I have an update to show you of how one page looks, which I guess is close to being finished now. And then we go into the Elliott Wave analysis, mainly focused on the weekly first, and then we pretty much go immediately to the 1 hour time frame, because the daily, the 4 hour are not as interesting as just having a global view on the weekly, like a helicopter view, and keeping an eye on what's happening on the 1 hour, as those are at the moment the two most interesting time frames. The weekly, just to know where are we in the bigger scheme of things, and then on the 1 hour, I mean, the 1 hour pretty much influences the 4 hour and the daily at the moment. So it's much more interesting to look at the 1 hour. We have very clear levels on the 1 hour as well locally that we have to pay attention to. So that's what we're going to do in the analysis today, and then chatting Q&A till probably we end the stream at about, I guess, like we have New York open in 45 minutes. So that's interesting. So I guess at around like close to 4 p.m. ish, and then I gotta do sports. Gotta go for a run, yo. Gotta go for a run. My gym, my new gym plan, fitness plan is starting on the 18th in 2 days. So I can't go to the gym now. and get myself absolutely wrecked so that I have muscle aches on the 18th because my new plan starts on the 18th. So today and tomorrow I got to go for runs, and then on the 18th we can get things going. I got my new fitness plan. So yeah, and also. This is probably tougher. I have no problem going to the gym many times a week. I love the gym. It's like a relaxing environment for me. But eating 3,000 calories, I'm currently at like 2.5k. So I would need to like add like some rice, vegetables, tuna, egg. Like I basically need 4 dishes. I need breakfast. Generally, that's bread, multiple sandwiches, lunch, rice, pasta with vegetables, eggs, like something like this. And then have another late lunch with bread-related stuff, and then dinner in the evening. Of course, fruit is in it as well. But I need to get to 3,000 calories a day. And I don't yet have a tracking app. So if you work in fitness and you know a great app to track your food, let me know. Write me a DM or just in chat, and I'll see it in a little bit. Yeah, indeed, bulking up. So I'm my metabolic age or my body age is 16. Holy shit. That's good, and the percentage of I'm very lean as well, but I've always been that guy, you know. But I want to build a bit more mass, so I use Yazio for calorie checking. Thanks, thanks, Leva. I'm gonna write this down as well. I'm just gonna put it in. Where am I gonna put it? I'm gonna put it here. Yazio. Calorie tracking apps. Okay, stop eating crap. I never actually. I don't really eat crap. I don't drink alcohol. Don't smoke and all that stuff. I do like chocolate related stuff. But what I found in the shops here is they have like peanut butter, but then of course I have normal peanut butter, but also with chocolate. Let's see. I'm just preparing my stuff. Let's start because we can go into chatting and Q&A after. So on the weekly time frame, I am Where is it? Here we go. Bearish scenario. And put that in as well, because of course you always, as an analyst, also need a bearish scenario. Okay. Who needs to watch Liver King? Is that about alcohol? I don't know. Okay. Komustu Kalibagan. V Sports, exactly. JP, by the way, welcome. Daniel, yes. Yeah. My Fitness Pal, Lucian, Holo Crypto, what's up? Peanut butter. Yeah, Tim. I'll show you a picture, Tim, in WhatsApp. Okay, guys, we're going to start. We're going to start with the analysis, right? Make sure we respect everyone's time. So we're 19 minutes in. We're going to start on the weekly, go down to the 1 hour, possibly have a look at the 15, but I mean the 1 hour is more interesting. So I always like at the beginning of my days in the morning, I always love to start on the high time frame. And it's not that I'm changing stuff on the higher time frame. It's just that I always remind myself of where we are in the bigger scheme of things. So currently, the higher probability scenario, still on the weekly, as it has been for months, is looking for an impulse to the upside. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Target 4-way 4, 57.1, 42.8, invalidation 37.7. Now, if you have been here on this channel for a couple of months, you can probably absolutely like dream this scenario, right? You know the levels, you know all the stuff. And so can I. But I do think, for myself at least, I always love going to the high time frames because it's, you avoid a lot of the clutter and the volatility on lower time frames, and it gives a very nice overview, right, of where we are. So I like to show this chart. And then we're looking for a wave 5 still, right? So wave 5 target 81.3 to 129k. Now, mind you, this is the conservative scenario, because your absolutely most bullish scenario is a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then you go into 3-4-5, 4-5, right? That is your, this is like your 300k-ish scenario, right? Like you go very, very high, and this is basically you don't get further than 150k most likely. Now the difference between the two, or I should say the what's the same at least, is you in both cases take all-time high, and then depending on the structure to the upside, that is when we can be looking at wave 5 or wave 3, right? The difference is the range after. What do you get? Right? If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to see a good rejection, retracement, weakness, and you go down, right? You want to see a bigger range forming over here. And in the most bullish scenario, you don't want big ranges. You want to move up, bum, bum, boom, right? Impulse, high volume, move above the wave 5 target, small ranges up, small ranges up, small ranges up, till you get to the wave 4s, and then you can start getting some bigger ranges or bigger drops again. But you preferably want to see a bigger push on a higher amount of volume. But it's not relevant to think that high and be that bullish. It's better to be conservative from a risk management point of view. And if you do get that impulsivity, then we can manage it, towards higher prices. Your bearish scenario, lower probability, is, and it's of course also the same three-wave structure, WXY or ABC. C target is below 15k. I mean, we're very far away, and at the moment probabilities locally here are not the highest for a multi 1-2. In other words, if you want to have this as an ABC regular flat, right, then you need an impulse to the downside here. And at the moment, it doesn't have the highest probabilities locally, because that means that here you would need to count a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then currently working on another 1, 2 before then a very big wave 3 drop. Now, mind you, by the way, that on the 4-hour time frame, the recent move to the downside, I just quickly make use of the AGGR chart because it switches quicker. This move down, right? As ugly as it is as an impulse, there is a way to count it as an impulse. It's just low probabilities. Probabilities are higher. This is a three-wave structure, but there is a way to count this as an impulse to the downside. It's just that you don't disrespect any rules. I'll show it. I'll show you guys as well this later. You don't disrespect any rules. It's according to the rules in Elliott waves, but it does. So it aligns with the rules, but it does not align with a so-called strong guideline. Strong guideline being wave 2 and wave 4 are not allowed to overlap. That's a problem in this move to the downside, because if you do count it as an impulse, wave 2 and 4 overlap, but not wave 1 and 4. And that's the rule. So this is the difference between rule and guideline, right? Guidelines are guidelines, and rules are either allowed or not allowed. Like it's a hard yes or a hard no. But by all means, though, wave C commonly would be below 15k. Just imagine for a second here, like, just imagine 15k, right? We go back to 15k. That's of course ridiculous at the moment. We're at 58. So not the highest probabilities, by the way, but we got to be aware. And your wave Y target being then a three-wave W, X, and then you look for Y, a 30.4k on log, 43.2k on linear. Log is preferred because of the move up here being 300% move to the upside. So logarithmic chart is preferred when doing analysis. And you need to still lose significant levels before looking for prices that go this low. So at the moment, the probabilities are still higher for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually another wave 5. On the weekly time frame, from an Elliott wave perspective. Now, that being said, we're going to go to the 4-hour. I quickly want to show you this count here. I think I have it somewhere in my folders. I must have... There we go. So this is the only way that I can somehow count this as an impulse down, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It respects all the rules. It's just that your wave 2 price action and your wave 4 price action overlap. And it's a strong guideline to not see that happen. It's a low probability impulse. It's a higher probability 3-wave structure, but the awareness, right? The awareness is there. Now, if we go to the 1 hour, this is actually where where shit's happening really. On a 1 hour, the bullish scenario is a 3-wave structure to the downside, ABC, right? Now with an ABC to the downside, we then want to hit the 0.618 preferably, just to get a bit more confirmation of this being a 3-wave move. The reason the 618 is so important, taken from the start to the end of C at 59.5, is because it invalidates a wave 4 in an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And an impulse is an important bearish alternative because your wave C or your wave 3 went to the 2, 1 second, I'm putting it on the chart, extension. And the 2 extension is more common for a wave 3 than a wave C. So in other words, if you hit the 618 before taking out this low, the probabilities are higher. You're going to take out this high. It's good for the bulls. That is why the thumbnail of the previous video was at 59.5k at the moment is the most important level on the chart for the bulls. You got to reach 59.5 on the chart here to increase probabilities to take out this high. If you take this low first, right, the probabilities increase for your bearish scenario, being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you look for a retracement and another leg to the downside, right? We go into more detail here in a second, right? So this is an important level, 59.5k. You also see the vertical line on my chart. That is a FIB time. That is this tool here, right? Trend-based FIB time. Taken from the start, no, wait, 1 second. Taken from, yeah, I thought so. Got to zoom out. Taken from the start to the end of the move to the upside. Because the probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view at the moment with the drop we had here is higher. So when I made, let me reframe for a second. Friday, price was here, probabilities were higher to still move up, right? So we got our move to the upside here. Interesting. And then we started ranging during the weekend. So that was all right. Now with the move down here, the probabilities increase that this structure, right, is a finished structure. We cannot, we either count it then as a finished impulsive structure or a WXY structure, a doesn't matter structure, right? Because by all means, what you're looking for is this move down, right, being related to the move up. In price and time, well, in time, we want this move to end after the 382. So even if price moves up, hits 59.5, preferably, this is not the end of then a bigger 3-wave corrective structure, right? So that you then get a WXY, or you get a flat in an ABC, or you get a double zigzag, right? But by all means, you still actually want to take out the low highest probabilities, but at a later stage. No? To finish after the 382, which is 6 p.m. today. Now, because of the extension here, the probabilities are arguably a bit higher for an impulse until proven otherwise, meaning hit 59.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then wave 5 to the downside. But in both cases, both bullish and the bearish scenario, meaning bullish ABC, bearish impulse, in both cases, preferably, you still take out this low at a later stage. Now in the bearish scenario, it just happens quicker. So 59.5 you're in validation for wave 4, common target for your wave 4 here on the chart, right? Price hit the 382, perfectly fine. Let me clean up the chart here by removing the 236 up. Very nice. And in a impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, preferably your wave 4 ends at least after the 382 fib time when comparing 2 with 4. So preferably this wave 4 then continues ranging till and ends after 3 p.m., which is literally right now, today. All right. Now, what is important in confluence with this scenario is 2 channels. I will make a video about this. I get many requests. So we have a base channel taken from the start of 1, end of 2, end of 1. What you want to see here is a wave 3 to break out of the channel. Wave 4 comes back to the channel, and then we get a wave 5. Right? Without, of course, hitting 59.5. This is a trend channel. A trend channel is relevant because what you're looking for, taken from the end of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 2, what you are looking for is price to break the upper trend line of the channel without touching the 618. To increase probabilities, this range is a wave 4. This is a lot of detail. But what you're looking for, in other words, is price to go sideways, break this channel preferably, then higher probabilities, we're looking here for a wave 4, and in all this time, it is not allowed to hit 59.5. Right, so yes, what's here? If we have the 0.5 maximum target for 4 in line with the channel here, we're talking 11 p.m. tonight. So preferably, in other words, you're going to be ranging here till at least tomorrow. And that's interesting because tomorrow we also have news at 2:30 p.m. Imagine you just go sideways for the rest of the day, tomorrow morning as well. And then as the news hits, we get some volatility on the chart. It would be interesting, no? So basically for an impulse, we preferably go sideways for a longer period of time. Your most bearish scenario is that if you do not actually go sideways and you move down before breaking the channel, there's the potential here for a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then a big 3. It's a bigger move down, bigger move down. But not the highest probabilities at the moment. So, yeah. I will summarize this in a second with the probabilities at the end. So, this morning I said, over here, I didn't really have too much going on. Now, I saw people commenting, which of course is good. Everyone has a different style of analysis about gaps, the volume profile. So Stuba, very sharp, and also it was Sam Brandstetter. I actually don't really know how to pronounce your surname, to be honest. But where is it? If we take the range volume profile, something like that. I don't know exactly. Maybe it was here. But we hit the value area low of the bigger range here as well, which is of course an area of confluence, an area of resistance. I actually didn't check for that this morning because I was keeping an eye on more local support and resistance areas. And yes, we did hit the golden pocket. And that golden pocket is in confluence with the value area low on the bigger time frame. So of course it's an area of resistance. But I'm little bit disappointing still that it didn't really pull through to I got a Control Z for a little bit, to the value area high. Okay, there we go. To the value area high of the more local range. Would have been nice, to be honest, 61.5. But it's still an area of interest. But the 1 hour is more interesting. So to summarize probabilities, let's summarize. From an Elliott wave point of view, on the weekly time frame, probabilities are higher still for a 4 and a continuation of the trend in a 5 to take out all-time high. That is your conservative, higher probability weekly time frame scenario. Your very bullish is a 112, but it's really too early to really talk about it. On the 1 hour time frame, we are looking at the bullish scenario, a finished ABC, versus the bearish scenario, an impulse, because wave 3 or your wave C went to the 2 extension, trend-based fib extension. It increases probabilities for a wave 3 because it's more common for a wave 3 to go to a 2 extension than a wave C. Right? It's just probabilities. But what is honestly more interesting at the moment is hit 618, 59.5, or take the low first. Either or. Hit this first, probability is higher to take out the high, but keep in mind, preferably we see a bigger 3-wave structure. Take out the low first, probability is higher for an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look for a 3-wave correction and another leg towards the downside. So those two levels, 59.5 and 58.1, those are the two that are by far most interesting to me. But in both of the cases, in the bullish scenario being a finished ABC as well as the bearish scenario being an impulse, you preferably still move down to take out this low. So that's why the probabilities this morning, this is the same as this morning, either an impulse or bigger corrective structure on a 1 hour here, right? Both cases preferably still look for a bit lower, and keep in mind how probabilities change, of course, right? 618, I mean, I explained this just now. I don't have to repeat this. So, yeah. And that's that, really. Final thing that I pay attention to, in case you find this interesting, is the CVDs. I keep talking about the 4-hour CVD because this one target is 65k. This one only started to be more interesting because locally we also moved up with bullish CVDs. If you don't know what CVD is, it stands for cumulative volume delta. It's a difficult word for simply looking at market orders, market buy or market sell orders with these two lines. If you have no idea, just check out the video. It's the first link in the description. It's on YouTube, or the second. You see like a Discord logo and then you see a YouTube logo. All right. Click on the YouTube logo and you'll see the information about CVD and what it is, how it works. It's 10 minutes. For me, it's the best indicator out there. I use it for so long. Like, it has made me so ridiculously much money. I can't. So I keep an eye on the 4-hour CVD just because locally we build bullish CVDs all the time with price moving up. And now with this local move down, we again see this. But I wanna make sure that if you do use CVD, this CVD here, a higher low in price, lower low CVD, is not interesting to me. Let me put it on the mark. Yes, so here. So you can see this one here, higher low in price, right? Lower low, yellow, not interesting to me. What I need to see, right? Because now we had all these bullish CVDs playing out. This low over here already had a bullish CVD playing out as well. What I want to see now is locally here, right? Here or wherever lower, I don't care. I want to see new fresh CVDs, right? New bullish CVDs. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I find more important than the 4-hour. Yeah. So yeah, that is that. So the 1 hour is by far most interesting. Yeah, that's it. That's it really. Oh, I completely forgot the this. Up. We're working on it, guys. We're working. Look, this is the I just want to show you this, the newest update, a little bit of a teaser of what's coming. Some of you already know we're working on it. There's still going to be a header as well with a color, right? With a design. Let me actually show you like this. Yeah. So of course, what we have at the bottom, we want to still have something bluish, greenish, probably left top here. But it's coming, right? We're working on it hard. Today we did a couple of structures, and Jeroen is working really hard on updating all my feedback, and I'm working very hard to give him feedback. So we're working on this stuff. It's incredibly detailed, more than any other template out there with regards to volume, structures, tips, guidelines. We will have 886 stuff, like a table with what's common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and all of this stuff. But this is an impulse. You know, like most people know what an impulse is. We changed the volume to a star rating because the problem with mentioning high, low, moderate is that if you say high, people are gonna look for high volume, but it's of course wave 3 compared to 1 and 5. It's not wave 3 of an impulse compared to wave X in a sideways structure. So the star rating avoids the interpretation of, oh, I got to look for high, right? Now we just have stars. So we're still looking for feedback. Also, you see the red here, right? Rule of alternation. You know, there's gonna be a page where we also talk about the words and terminology, just so that you understand. And yeah, very cool, no? I can't wait for that to be finished. Yeah. Okay. That being said, we started at like minute 19. Wait, now channel and Q&A, yo. Now chatting and Q&A. Okay, so we have a nice 45 min. Yeah, sure, John, absolutely. Like once it's finished, now chatting and Q&A. Once it's finished, first wanna, instead of immediately putting it out there, and like the thing is, once you work on a project for a long time, you kind of, and I guess everyone has that experience, that if you're so involved with the project, that takes a long time, because this takes months, especially on your own side, being like putting so much effort into creating all the structures, but putting so much time into a project, eventually you might miss a typo, or you're gonna miss, oh shit, we forgot to add the rule, or because it's so much information. But we try our best. But that's indeed why probably we want to have indeed like a select group, and then just give us feedback, implement it, and then out there. Rule of alternation or a guideline. The rule of alternation is a guideline. It's actually not a rule, which is interesting because it's called rule of alternation, but it's actually a guideline of alternation. It's not a rule. Because there's only 3 rules in Elliott waves. Right? There's 3 rules in Elliott waves. So if you have an impulse or a diagonal, right? Rule number 1. Oh wait, let me do this. Rule number 1. Wave 2 is not allowed to take the origin of wave 1. Rule number 2. Wave 1 and wave 4 are not allowed to overlap. Rule number 3, in an impulse, wave 3 is never allowed to be the shortest. Those are the only 3 rules in Elliott waves. All the other stuff are guidelines. So that is why rule of alternation is positioned below guideline and tips. But the thing is, it's called a rule of alternation, but it's actually not a rule. Because if it was a rule, right? Imagine if it is a rule, then you would always need to say, okay, wave 2 is sharp, so wave 4 always has to be sideways. But that's not true. If wave 2 is sharp, wave 4 can still be sharp. If wave 2 is sideways, wave 4 has a 78% of still being sideways. Even though, based on rule of alternation, one would say, hey, if wave 2 is a sideways structure, like a flat WXY, wave 4, right, zigzag or a sharp structure. But, based on statistics, that is incorrect. And the statistics are, by the way, from Rich Swannell, very, very famous guy in the industry. So, yeah. Let me quickly have a look up here. Altcoins was yesterday. We do the altcoin streams on Sundays. Sundays. Yeah, I'll take a pic, Tim. Odin, what's up? How you doing? Can't deny, like those South Africans are something else here when they're buying. No? Sub 5 in wave 3. Sub wave 5 in wave reach beyond to 6. Is there any specific reason for you to draw wave 5 target to? Yes, because it's about what's common. And what is, so this is a weekly, sorry, I had to think there. This is a weekly time frame question. So let me zoom out here. It's about the common target. And the common target for 5 is what you see on the chart here. There's 3 ways to find the common target for a wave 5, right? Structure 1, or number 1, is take a normal Fibonacci from the start to the end, or the low in this case, of your wave 2. Wave 4. No. So start to end or start to low of 4. Toggle on the 1.236 and the 1.618, which is somewhere here. Then a 1-to-1 trend-based fib from the start to the end of 1 to the low of 4, which currently is just this low. So we use the low, end of 4, which is also somewhere in this box. And then the 0.618 from the start to the end of 3 to the end / low of 4, which is the 0.618. And then the area, right? Because the 1.618 and the 1-to-1 are in this box, they are irrelevant to me. So I select the highest and the lowest point, and that gives me this area, which of course is very big. But it's not about the size, because as price comes in, once you start an impulsive move up in this scenario, you're gonna get a smaller target. Right, this is your weekly target, but then your daily target is going to be smaller, and the 4-hour is going to be smaller, and then the 15-minute is going to be very small. You know? But we don't have that information. Weekly target areas are always big because it's a high time frame. Yeah. So that is why the 0.618, of course, it's probability. So it's about what is common, what's uncommon. What's up, Hunter? How you doing, man? Mario, welcome. Maybe a band-aid, by the way. Odin, good to have you guys here. If price went down to 50k, then it would have never reached any oversold similar to any of the other side indicating either. Correct. Slow death on Bitcoin. Wait, I don't. Price has had a number of breaks of the base channel, so either a correction down or more complex correction, perhaps. If price went down to 15k, then it would have never reached any oversold similarities to any of the other cycles in Bitcoin's existence. No, because it would have gone against the cycle theory and all the other bull markets, of course. Yeah. Indicated either correctional cycle, yes, correct. Slow death of Bitcoin, also correct. Higher probability, correctional cycle, but yeah, that's correct. Price has had a number of breaks of the base channel. Let me have a look on the weekly base channel. Weekly, there we go. I mean, at the moment, we are still very much inside the base channel, ranging around the midline. We haven't yet touched the lower trend line. Which is something, if you're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't want wave 4 to hit the lower trend line, as TP will know, but for others. The moment you hit the lower trend line here, your bullish scenario will switch to a double 1, 2. Wave 4 becomes unlikely in that case. You don't want to really hit the lower trend line. Again, it's all probabilities, but and this is your trend channel, which we broke, right? So it increases probabilities for a 4 in that case. Yeah. Up, having a POC near the top of the range, typical for a wave 4. More likely to take the high. Yeah, the value area high. Wait, the point of control. On the daily, yeah. So as mentioned, I think, like also in the morning video, I like to keep an eye on the local support and resistance areas. And we moved above the point of control, at least shortly. And I like that. I have confidence at 61.5. It's a bit, yeah, we had the value area low, I suppose, of the bigger range in this area. Golden pocket from the high to the low. So there's a bit of confluence, but I don't know, like it's not, it's not, the area I would like to see, like, oh, this is the high of like, oh, we went up and that's it, you know. Of course, solid resistance, golden pocket, value area low, but you know, so close. Value area high of the more local range here. Oops. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah. But I mean, that's 4 hour stuff. Let's observe the 1 hour. That's more important locally. So either looking for the impulse, or of course ABC, and then a bigger corrective structure. What's up, George? How you doing? Still an awkward time zone. Watching replays mostly. Well, thanks for your support, man. I appreciate you watching still, even though of the time zone difference. And thanks for popping in as well, George, man. Nice to see you pop in sometimes, though. Of course, I understand it's not easy, but it's nice to see your name come by. You've been here for a very long time already. Like watching the channel. But thanks, man. CVD is a good add to any strat. Yes. Build statistics. Recommended. What's up, GTP Sleeper? Is the diagonal still valid with the 3W move from... so previous, I removed it from my chart. So he's talking about the diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I removed it from my chart, I explained it in a previous video, is because, one second, working on it. I mean, lol. But what you want in a diagonal is you want wave 1. So we have then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want wave 1 and wave 4 to overlap. The problem is that your invalidation for a contracting diagonal is the 1-to-1, which is pretty much at the same level. Now, funny enough, of course, we hit support without touching the 1-to-1. But because it's yeah, do we have overlap? Yes. Did it hit invalidation? No. Let me do this quickly just to see if we hit the channel. Yeah, we did. So okay, so yeah, it is invalidated anyway, not by price but by the channel trend line. So this is a tip from 1 to 3 to 2. If wave 4 hits the lower trend line over here, it invalidates a contracting diagonal, and an expanding diagonal is very rare. So therefore, the diagonal for me is it's not relevant anymore. I think you need a sales page for this. I don't know, like probably like Amazon or something, and we'll also have a way to just have it for free with the. With like probably set up like a nice campaign on Blovin or something. Yeah. For dietary tracking, after several different apps, I found My Net Diary has an awesome setup and more great detail tracking of all the macro stuff. Gonna write it down. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Thomas. Appreciate it. That's nice. So Yazio, MyFitnessPal, and My Net Diary. Gonna keep an eye on them. Okay, we're almost there. So I answered a couple of stuff here. What's up, Adam? Good morning. Good morning, Adam from the US. Did you enjoy Formula 1 over the weekend? I feel bad for Sainz. My opinion is Perez to blame for the incident, and what a great pass on the inside by Oscar. Yeah, I mean, so I watched it last night because yesterday I had a busy day and then the live stream. So I literally watched it in the middle of the night, and yeah, it was great. It was a great race. A lot of action. Definitely not a boring race. It was a great race. And so I enjoyed it. And Oscar, of course, deserved the win. I mean, he had to pass in order to win that race. I mean, besides the obvious fact he had to drive first, but also Ferrari was very fast. So by being in front, giving Leclerc dirty air, it was just enough to stay in front. Else Leclerc probably would have driven away. The accident between Sainz and Perez, yeah, they both tried to get the DRS or the toe from Leclerc, and there's only so much space on the tarmac, you know. So yeah, it was a little bit unexpected to have such an accident at the end of the race, I suppose. By the way, we have bullish CVD here, of course, but also with this low. Just saying. But and the bearish CVD played out. So yeah. But it was fun, yeah. 72% at the wave 2 finishes between 05 and 786. Yeah, it's all exactly, it's all probabilities. Like a wave 2 can finish at the 236 as well. It's just that it's, you know, it's not high probability. You checked my oh, you mean it's not my PDF, it's the PDF of Rich Swannell. It's his research. So but by all means, with the PDF we are making, that's just the impulse page. So we will still make other pages and stuff. We, of course, already have all the structures, but a page about channels, a page about 886, a page about what's common, rare, very rare, uncommon, that sort of stuff. But yeah. If wave 4 ends with higher lows than its absolute low, where do you place the fit for wave 5 target range calculation? What's up, Samuel Lopez? What I like to do is use both to increase my target area for 5. Generally, though, it's from the start to the end of wave 4. But I like to do start to end of 4 and start to low wave 4 to create a bit of a bigger area, which gives you more... just a bit more space to work with, right? So the moment then wave 5 enters the area, you at least, it's because a target area is, the only reason we have a target area is because of our awareness. We got to be aware that in that area, we could see a turnaround. So by pulling from start end 4 and start low 4, I increase my area a bit, which increases my awareness of being focused on, hey, we could look for potential weakness here. And if we get it, it's interesting. So that is, you see me do that more often. What I tend to do, let me show you just as an example. If we have a wave 1 and then a wave 2 and then we have a wave 3, right? And then let's imagine you're having a wave 4, which is a triangle. And then you get your wave 5, right? Now, what I then, for example, like to do, just for the sake of this example, is from the start to the lowest point of 4. And then from the start to the end of 4. And then what I do is I remove this 1.236 in the middle, because it's higher than the 1.236 here. And then from the second pull here, I remove the 1.618. And then it gives me this area. So it just gives you more space to work with, which is nice to have because it's all about awareness. It's not about this exact area, right? It's about this. We have this whole structure, this area, and in there we gotta be aware. Carl, late again, chatting in Q&A. You're still in time for another half an hour of enjoyment. By the way, everyone, in 15 seconds, New York is going to open. Why am I... Andrew, the golden pocket rejection is so weak. Which golden pocket rejection you mean? You mean at the high here? But if you would say this rejection is very weak, if you're of course very bearish, you want to say this is very strong. Now, by all means, of course, this is still very much on, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double 1, 2. You just, preferably still look for that low. The larger range volume profile also has a very high point of control. Let's have a looky. The point of control. Oh, not that one. Oh, here it is. No. Other one. Here we go. Yeah, found it. Point of control 66.8. Yeah. 66.8. Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, price never got there. It rejected at the order block. If you go back to the content of, let's say, the 22nd of August, you can see I had a box here, resistance box, which included one of the resistances was the daily order block and other stuff. Nicely respected. Some weekend price action, and then back down it went. So, but yeah, the point of control is indeed higher. Important level, important area of resistance, of course, that point of control. Yeah. Can you review where we are within the weekly wave 4? That would be daily time frame analysis. It's just less relevant at the moment to look at the daily or the 4 hour, because the 1 hour is most important. So that's why I don't really like to analyze the daily or the 4 hour, because they do not provide me with the conclusive information of like, oh, this is it, because most of the scenarios are actually just shit on a 1 hour and 4 hour. So of course we have a big range, and we can just put them on the chart real quick. But bearish scenario is a 1112 by now, not the highest probabilities, by the way. By far your most bearish scenario, and then you move down, which means this has to be an impulse. 886 touch during wave 2, low probabilities. This being an impulse has lower probabilities, but it can be counted. It's just not that great, because we do have overlap between wave 2 and 4, which is not a invalidation, but it's a strong guideline to not see that. We have a diagonal to the downside, but it's still early to talk really about this diagonal. You preferably wait for 4 to be in, right? But then you first need to take this low. So this one is early. Another bearish scenario, but then you have an expanding diagonal in a 1 or A. You look for a flat 2 or B, and then a C or 3 down, right? So you look for price to take the low. WXYXZ, very rare. In this case, you look for either a triangle in Z or a flat. It's just a very rare scenario. So you like, I can continue, of course. Bullish scenario would be a diagonal. Very early. You want to wait for a wave 4 to be in, which is going to take weeks. Then we have the WXY, triangle in Y. Preferably also wait for wave D to be in before giving this great probabilities. Then you have a 112, which is not great because of wave 1, overlap between wave 2 and or wave 1 and wave 4 in this potential then counted impulse up as well. So you can do a lot on the daily. But I'm just like you saw all the scenarios. There's quite a lot going on, as you can see, right, on a daily time frame. But what is by far most interesting now is to look at the 1 hour, right? Because as you notice, in most cases, the daily is too early in a lot of the scenarios. So what I look at is on the 4 hour, we have the bullish CVDs here, target 65, and this move up so far is supported with bullish CVDs, which does give some higher probabilities to this one here, right, to play out. But now that we have price moving down, all of the bullish CVDs locally already played out, and now price moves down. Cool, that's perfectly fine, but that means we want to see some new 15-minute market structure bullish with new bullish CVDs. We wanna see that continue, right? That structure with bullish CVDs. And on the 1 hour, that is where price action is clearest. Did we actually take the low now? Wait 1 second. Yeah, we did. No? Yes. No, we touched the 886 though. So keeping an eye on this impacts the whole daily time frame scenarios. So that's why I prefer looking at the 1 hour here. Yeah. And wait, did we get it? Yeah. Ta-da! Probabilities played out on the 1 hour. Very nice. It's always nice during a live stream. Keep an eye on the volume. Okay. So to summarize, that the daily has options, but in many cases triangle is still too early, diagonals is still too early, double or the triple 1-2 is of course most bearish, but you have a third wave 1 down here, which is not great probabilities at the moment. WXYXZ is always very rare, never preferred, unless all the other stuff fails. And it's like, look, what I could do is be like, analyze the daily and say this is the highest probability. But then, and I think any analyst that can analyze the daily and say highest probability is this diagonal, and you're only working on a wave 2, it's you can't do that, you know. It's way too early. So that's why I like the local time frames a lot more, because they provide a lot more information, which we can then translate into higher time frames once we have enough information. So the only thing that's interesting for the bulls that I keep in mind, as mentioned this morning, is the CVD. It's the bullish CVD we have here, and then price moving up with consistent CVD. Now that is something, but that's not Elliott wave related. That's CVD related. Now that is something that I keep in mind as I wrote here as well, right? So I'm very aware of the bullish CVDs, right? That I wrote here. But that is not Elliott waves related. Like, of course, I use it in confluence with Elliott waves, and because of the bullish CVDs and the market structure up here with bullish CVDs, yes, it is very attractive to take 65, right? But you want to see that bullish market structure continue, and taking 65, there's not many scenarios that take 65, of course, and it would be better for the bulls than the bears, right? For the low being in, basically, if you take 65. But I like to take it step by step. I upload 3 times a day, so there's a very high frequency of content. Whenever something happens, there's pretty much always going to be a new video online. So we keep very, very close track on what price is doing. And the 1 hour here, that's the most interesting for me at the moment, because it impacts probabilities on the higher time frames. It can be a B of a flattened 4. That's correct. That's correct. George, love it here. You have taught me so much and still learning. Love to hear it. Thanks, man. That's awesome, George. You've been here for a long time. So this is what I often hear, and maybe you as viewer, individual, experience the same. When someone sees my video for the first time, generally, a big group of people that write me in the beginning, they don't really understand the video, because I have this scenario and this scenario, and maybe different time frames, but I try to not do that too much now. But sometimes I had, okay, weekly time frame, bull bear, daily time frame, bull bear, 1 hour time frame, bull bear, and then probabilities at the end. And what I hear from people that are here for a longer period of time, including Jeroen, for example, my employee as well, and Sam and others, is that at the beginning they don't really get it. Like, wait, so he has a bullish and a bearish scenario. Like, where is price going? Why don't you just tell me where's price going? Right? That's the general like expectation. But in the end, as people keep watching, they're like, oh, they get the hang of probabilities. It's not about price goes up or down. It's about the probabilities are higher of it up or down. But in order to know the probabilities, we need to analyze the price action. So most of the video is showing the why behind the probabilities I present at the end. So why are the probabilities higher for a bearish or a bullish outcome? Well, that's because of, and then I explain the bullish scenario, the bearish scenario, and then I get to the probabilities. And as people stick around for a little bit longer, they start to realize that it's all probabilities, and you always need a bullish and a bearish scenario as an Elliott wave analyst. And the probabilities are based on the individual analysis per scenario, right? And that's where then things start kicking in, and the learning process really starts. Of course, that generally beginning Elliott wave analysts or new people. The more experienced viewers will of course absolutely know what I'm doing, because they do it themselves most likely. But this is generally what I hear from new people is it's difficult to follow in the beginning. They don't really get it. And then the question is, do people stick around or do they leave because they have the feeling like, he doesn't present only one scenario going up or down, so whatever. But I guess I attract a certain audience that thinks better than just that, which is good as well, because that's the audience that I like to talk to. It's the audience that's a bit more analytical and more understanding of how trading actually works, because it's all probabilities. I know this is not an alt session, but I think XRP is looking interesting for breaking out of a multi-year pattern. Yeah, XRP is like stable coin, but of course we had a move yesterday, but or end of last week. But yeah, the triangles on XRP are interesting. Definitely, you're starting to look to end a bigger structure on the weekly even. What's up, Carl? Not just an incident. Since we're talking about wave 5, the 618 is supposed to compare wave 3 and wave 5. No, the 618 is taken from the start of 1 to the end of 3 to the end of 4. What are your thoughts on the current possible wave 4? Oh yeah, so wait. On the 1 hour here, if this was like, so of course probabilities were higher to take the low. We took the low, so that's cool. Now we gotta observe the reaction, which of course sounds a bit like but I'll explain why. First, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, still a possibility. So that's a bigger impulse. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's another possibility. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, wait, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Also a possibility. Now the probabilities are higher though. You're looking at a wave 4. That's just because this leg is very long compared to this one, right? So counting a 1, 2, 1, 2 here would have lower probabilities than using 1, 2, 3 and then look for 4, 5. But that's why the volume now is interesting locally, right? If you dump on high volume, you're gonna look towards 3s. But initially, you'd probably be looking for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But yes, George, lower degree 4, absolutely an option. Yeah, so then you have this as a 4 compared to this as your 2. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. TP, one thing to identify if a range is going up or down is the FRVM. FRVM. Fixed range volume profile. Okay, that's how you... Wait, what's the M? Fixed range volume M. Medium maybe, but yeah, it can be interesting. That's of course a different way of using the volume profile. Look where the point of control is. Is it at the high or the low of a range? And if it's at the high of the range, it generally gives an idea of, oh, we might have a lot of like stuck traders there, right? Like they're in potential longs and now they're underwater. So of course it's interesting. A new high or low, yeah. Play. This is stuff that is in Diamond. I can't talk about like my whole way of trading in public, of course. But I use everything that you see in my videos and in my content. But my exact entry rules and how I trade, that's stuff that's shared in Diamond, though. Thank you, great info. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Ali. Looks like reverse head and shoulders on the higher time frames. That's a possibility. Yep. You said it can go up or down. Great. You can't be wrong. Yeah. Of course, you are like... so this is the thing, of course, with Elliott wave analysis, you need a bullish and a bearish scenario. It's just how it works. It's just you got to be unbiased. You got to be neutral. You got to let the analysis speak to you, right? And then use that analysis. So of course, there's indeed always one for up and one for down. And then you have the probabilities. But people that don't get it, that you need those two plus have probabilities, because trading is not about certainty. It's not about it will go up or down. No, there's a higher probability of it going up or down, or take that high or take that low. And that is the information we can use, because it's all probabilities. You know, nothing is 100%. So yeah, if there's analysts or other, of course, it cannot be Elliott wave related as well. But if someone says the words will, or it should, or you know, those type of words, like certainty words, you know, just immediately like, you know, time to leave, kind of, you know, it's not how trading works. It's bad influence. Potential wave 4 finish, yes, but then of course, preferably this is then a lower degree 4, because it's very short in time compared to 2. Trading is like thinking about Marvel what if series. Yeah, I mean, trading is I think it's one of the most difficult things someone can do. Long-term profitability in trading takes a lot of discipline. Yeah. You know, making profit one day, okay, easy. You know, I pressed the button and price went up or down. But now do it over 100 trades, and then over 1,000 trades, and then over a couple of years, and you know, no. So many universes. Yeah, with Elliott waves, of course, there's also many scenarios, but you got to pick the ones that work the best. But on the daily, it's for most of the scenarios too early, so I like the 1 hour. The non-passive analytics of price action. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, you know, we can't be biased in the market. If you are biased towards, for example, I always use the example of the previous bull market, because that is where there was so much bias in the market here towards we go 500k Bitcoin. You have people talking on CNBC, easy 500k per Bitcoin, 300k, 400k per Bitcoin. Like there was so much bullish bias, And then people forget to look at the chart. They just don't see it anymore. They're living on a pink cloud. Everyone is in profit. Everyone is like higher, 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 more, buy. And they just either don't take profit, they have a TP at 300K because Moonboy A said on TV 300K, and indicator C said we still go to like 150 or 200K, and then la-di-la. So everyone living on that pink cloud. There was so much hype here. For the ones that were here in the market, you know exactly what I talk about. And people just, they stop being neutral, right? They have so much bias towards upside. They forget to think about the risk. And then first of all, down to 30, right? And then boom, down to 15. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I don't like bias. We have probabilities based on analysis. I think the best position you can be in with your mindset is, I don't care if it goes to 100K or 10K, right? I care about volatility because that's where my profit is. I don't care if it's volatility up or volatility down. I trade the probabilities of my strategy, my analysis, and be sensible, right? It's not about having like the most amount of profit, sniping the low and exiting at the absolute top. Like that's not what it's about, you know. It's consistency. If you have a strategy that does snipe the low and you exactly exit at the high, I mean, that's good, right? That's good for you, of course. That's not the way I trade, but everyone trades different. But it's knowing probabilities. Exactly, that's how poker works as well. So, and that's also, I mean, even in poker, right? Like it's all probabilities. What's my hand, and how do probabilities change with every new card flip, right? And then you're like, oh shit, you know, like, okay, the risk is too high. I'm not gonna, what's that, fold? Like, you know, go to the next one or add up. Not really a poker player myself, so I'm a bit clueless there, but I believe it's folding or something, or you got to add. Yeah. Trading and poker have a lot of similarities. Now it took the low. Yeah, it did. Nice little wick. But now that price took this low, the probabilities are higher to still come back lower as well. So you're either looking, so this is what I meant, either now 1, 2, 3, even if it's a finish 5, you look for a 5, 3 up and 5. 1, 2, 3, like Blaster said, flatten and then still look for a move down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. W, X, Y. Probabilities are high to still go down at a later stage though. If someone says Bitcoin went up and reached my target exactly as I predicted each and every time, so boring. Yeah. It's probabilities. I don't really like that sentence, as I predicted, you know what I mean? So what I always say on the channel, which is on purpose, is I say probabilities played out. I don't make it me, I make it chart, I make it Elliott waves, right? Elliott waves, probabilities played out. But I rarely even say it in videos. So I generally completely skip it. I don't say, oh, probabilities played out. I say, okay, price took the low, right? And now we're looking for ta-ta-ta. So that's a lot more valuable to me. I don't care about that, like, you know, that sentence. But yeah, you see it on Twitter a lot. When you see difference on time frames, when the 4 hours says short and the 1 hour says long, on the indicators when I first thought was an aha moment. Yeah, Murat, it's also confluence between the time frames. So if the 4 hour says short, and that's your Elliott wave probabilities on the 4 hour are downside, of course, it's more interesting to look on the lower time frames for potential short positions. But if on the 1 hour the probabilities are higher to long, I mean, of course you can, if it's according to the plan, just take it. But it's then about risk management. So if you long on a 1 hour time frame, while the probabilities on a 4 hour are bearish, it just basically means if I enter my long, I got a TP quicker, stop loss break even quicker, exit the trade quicker, be more aware of bearish signs, bearish CVD, bearish market structure, rejections, resistance levels, and observe the reaction at those levels, right? So that's then how it influences your trading. Yeah. It is like being an actual marketplace if you get a customer. I was at the market yesterday actually in Nice. Looks like a flattened 4. Yeah, nice wick here. So 1 hour, of course, probability is just mentioned. So yeah, probability is high. I will be there on the next live, but you never know. Thanks, Ben, man. I appreciate that. I like your probabilities. I like your probabilities. Thanks for the support, man. Play, does that qualify as I had a shoulders candlestick pattern? On what time frame, play? What time frame are you talking about? Daily, weekly, 1 hour? Maybe locally? CME gap 62, 60. Oh wait, 59.9. So that is, oh wow, that's pretty high. 59.9 to 62. That's not a big CME gap. That's a very small one actually. So that's over here, which is definitely an area of interest. We have a daily naked point of control there as well, 60.2K. And we also have a daily higher, but I mean, that would be very high still. But yeah. 60.5. So we do have some resistance there. Downside, weekly naked point of control, a couple of levels. So yeah. Oops. I just came and missed what it all means. What does this wick mean now? What's up, Samsung United? Good to have you here, man. First of all, the probabilities in general now are higher to still take this low. Right now, what does it mean? I mean, depends a little bit on the reaction here, but so we have quite a clear 3-wave move down. It's difficult to count this as a nice impulse, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it looks better as a 3-waver, but by all means, you have several options, but they all lead to the same result. So, impulsive options are the bearish 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within 4, for example, a flat or a WXY. Invalidation remains the 618 at 59.5. Right? Most bearish is a 1, 2, 1, 2, not the highest probabilities though. Better is to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structures. And then your alternative is a W, right? And then you have an X and then you get a Y. In all those cases, you preferably still look for downside, and an impulse remains the higher probability unless you hit the 618, because preferably this is not a 4 compared to this 2. It's so short. As you can see here, this high is made before the 382. If this is 1, 2, 3, and we want 4, 5, we want 4 to end after the 382. So if we would continue, then I would count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or a double 1, 2. But yeah, that's what you're looking for, really. Yep. Hi, Koens. What happens if we hit 59.5 after the low? Oh, actually, so just explain. So basically here, this remains an invalidation for 4 because this high is made before the 382, which is really short for 4 compared to 2. So in other words, if price would do this, hits 59.5, right? It still increases probabilities. This is a 3-waver. But then, so in other words, right, as an impulse, you actually want 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? You still want to move down, but you want to end a correction after the 382. Alternatively, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, but invalidation is the same, right? So if you hit 59.5, probabilities increase still. This is a 3 wave, but then you're going to label this as a wave W or A. You're going to look for X, Y, or a flat B, C. Just the fact that price took the low here increases the probabilities to take it later. So that's what we're looking for. And then this current structure down on the 15 looks very 3 wavy, right? As you can see. So I don't really want to go in a lot of detail trying to count this here. Right? Is this a W, X, and a Y? Is this just a 3 wave? Is this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't care. But the probabilities are set. So mind you, we also have news tomorrow. So something we keep in mind. I think the Fed are probably going to print some more dollars due on a daily basis. No. How's Ashley? Ashley is doing good. I mean, she's working on her own business. So she started her business in the Netherlands, but she wanted to start executing on her business in the south of France. But she doesn't have a visa yet to work here because she's not European. She has 2 passports, but both of them are not European Union. So she needs a visa in order to actually be allowed to work here. So we're working on this, but of course government stuff always takes a long time. But in the meantime, even though she can't really execute, she's already doing lots of stuff, connections, looking at properties. She's in real estate, getting in touch with people. And so she's putting all the fundamentals in place to then act once she has the visa as well. So she's doing good. And I mean, other than that in life, yeah, she's happy, she's good. She loves working for herself and building a... being in the starting phase of building a company. Like it's the first time, and it's actually not her first company, by the way. But it's the first time in real estate. But that's always been a dream of her. Working in real estate, working on properties, and her absolute dream is owning a boutique hotel in the south of France. So that's what she's working towards, and of course it's going to be a journey with lots of lessons, but that's exactly what you want, no? And by the way, you guys will like it. She got interested in actually trading. So since when was the first lesson? I taught her a little bit about. Wait, I wrote it down somewhere. I'm teaching her a little bit about trading now because she was interested in, how does this work? Can I learn this? So she sat next to me. We had like both our chairs here, and I was like, I'm educating my wife into this world. She knows nothing, right? So we spoke about trading view, risk management, risk reward ratio, and win rate. And that was like lesson 1. Is just very, very basic. And and then tonight we're gonna sit together again, and I'll be teaching her some more stuff, repeating a bit of lesson 1, and go into other stuff that's important. So yeah. it's nice, it's fun. Yeah. Do CME gaps from a longer time still play a role? I'm not someone that uses CME gaps, so it's difficult to tell. I think what someone should do that trades CME gaps or keeps an eye on it would be to collect data on how quickly do they get filled. So if you have a CME gap, does it take 1 day? Like, what's the percentage? What's the chance? Do like 50% of the CME gaps get filled in day 1? And another 30% in day 2, and then another 15% in day 3. But if it's longer than 3 days, then it's only 2% they might get filled. Now that is stuff we can use. But I don't trade CME. I don't use CME, so I don't collect the data. Between 16 and 17. Between 16 and 17. I don't know what you mean. 16 and 17. Today is the 16th. What is 16, 17? Between 16 and 17. Are we talking about like... Are we talking about 15k low here? Like shoulder, head, shoulder, break the neckline, move above, retest neckline, and then move up. In that case, of course, you could label this as a head and shoulders. Yeah. She's done all right for herself in the relationship department also. Absolutely. Of course, we got married earlier this year as well. Yeah, she's awesome. Awesome. And it's nice to see the passion as well for example, the real estate industry. She always has. So she puts a lot of work in it, and yeah, she has a lot to learn, but she's doing very well. She was the highest scoring student of the, I don't know if it was Harvard or Cambridge. I believe it was the Harvard real estate online course of multiple weeks with a test every week or every 2 weeks. And there were people in that group in her class that had like years and years of real estate experience, people of 50, 60, decades of real estate. And she was the highest scorer. She has her diploma, her certificate. She has that here as well. And she's very good in what she does. But building a company is something that's still relatively new, like the way what she has to do now. So that's going to be the main learning curve. Have you got her in the diamond plan? She is not in Discord actually. So the answer would be no. If like, is she in Discord? No, she's not in Discord. But of course, if she's like, yo, can I have a look there? Then of course I'll just add her. Yeah. She married a mentor. On the 1 hour chart between 16 and 17. But what is 16 and 17? Because I am on, this is 58. Oh wait, you mean 4 p.m. and 5 p.m.? But guys, I'm so clueless. Are you talking about this, and this? But that is then between 12 and... What does 16 and 17 mean? I don't know what you mean. Is that time? Is that a date? Is that price, for example? It's a bit difficult for me to guess. I mean, this I guess would classify as maybe a head and shoulders. But besides the fact, like, what is the head and shoulders? I don't trade patterns myself, as I of course use Elliott waves and other tools. Can this be classified as a head and shoulders? Preferably your right shoulder in this case is bigger, right? This would be very, very tiny compared to a very big left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So preferably you get a, it's about ratio as well. You get a bigger shoulder in that case. Between 16 and 17 hours. But I don't know in what time zone you live as well. So 16 and 17 hours might be different for me. What's up, Rudy? Welcome, Legendario. Good to have you here. Still recovering from COVID. Hopefully you recover quick, man. Hate being sick. Yeah, hate being sick. So 4 and 5 p.m. I don't know. I still don't know. Yeah. But I also have to go. What's up, Mohib? Welcome. The third, this between 16 and 17. I guess you're talking about this somewhere on the 1 hour time frame. I don't see any other head and shoulders potential than that, and then that on the 1 hour at the moment. Between 16 and 17. But 17 is here. So between 16 and 17 is here. Maybe join Discord, but I guess maybe you mean this. In that case, I guess it classifies as a head and shoulders, but this is of course the 15-minute, not the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, I don't know if I'm clueless, but I don't really. I thought they were hours, but they're days. Don't know if it qualifies as one. They're days. I'm really trying my hardest here, but I really do not know. I don't know. I don't know. So is there a head and shoulder currently here on the chart? I guess this, and this would be a head and shoulder. But so first of all, I don't trade the patterns. Head and shoulders would be reversal patterns, like at 15K low. So that's one. Then on the 1 hour, we have done ta, and you want this. Other than that, I don't see any other head and shoulders on a chart. 1 hour daily. Yeah, this is of course, but then if this is shoulder, head, you create another shoulder. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. I feel like absolutely clueless here. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. Gotta get my ass outside and go for a run, do some sports before continuing with all of the PDF work, which is on the agenda as well, and of course an evening update as well later. That I can do translation in French by phone. If one day there's a job, I'm ready. Cheers, Mohib. Thanks for your support. The bearish divergence. 1 second. Nothing going on because we just took the low. So the only divergences interesting are on the right side of a new low, but you need structure first, and there's no market structure really yet. So yeah, CVD at the moment locally there's not really something going on. So thanks everyone for being here, and Adam to be grandfathered. Yeah, exactly. The marriage clause. Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And run the dogs. What's up? Maybe a Band-Aid, man. Enjoy running with the dogs. Cool. Thanks everyone for being here. Tonight will be another update. See if we get any other information. But you know, the probabilities still higher to take out that low at a later stage anyway. But tonight in a couple of hours, I'll provide another update focusing on the 1 hour. But in the upcoming hours, I will do sports and do some other work related stuff. So thanks for being here. Play, by the way. Sorry, I didn't really understand what you meant, but Play, feel free to join Discord and just send me a picture, send me a screenshot, tag me in the group, and I'll be there. I'll check it out. But always a pleasure. I love answering questions, and I appreciate you engaging and answering or asking questions. So that, like, people like you and all the others here, that's what makes the stream. Else it would be lonely, no? Even if I was lonely, I'd still probably talk the whole stream anyway. But thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate all the kind messages and all the thank yous and the cheers and whatnot. I'll catch you at a later stage again.